next track. Oh, I did the tracks out of order. Fuck me. Nate Kisat, Reality. So do you want to go to that one, Josh?
Let's do it.
All right, so let me go ahead and paste it real quick. And I can give you guys the rundown, little story that he sent us. He said, this song is about reflecting on my past pain. Oh, it's playing already. Excuse me.
Same here.
This song is about reflecting on my past pain to understand why I'm fearful of the future. Why, bro? The future looks bright. First verse is about the past. Bridge is an interesting concept from a random YouTube vid, lol. Second verse is the future. Alrighty. This is a work in progress. So let's 9 hours ago. Let's give him some good advice and let's listen good. But you ready, Josh?
Let's go.
Nick Cassatt, Reality. 3, 2, 1.
Look, I'm talking to a memory and interview. I enter you to see an interview. In the booth, John Wilkes would assume that I kill it too. And I really do.
John Wilkes.
I don't know what fate is, but I'm faded as a patient. And I'm making the creation. Make it way too complicated. I'm the same as when I'm painting, when I'm praying for my folks. I don't go to church, but I used to though. Oh.
Back.
Now my sermon is serve, but it's serving a smoke. Is there a God? I don't know, but I don't know enough. Pushed to the cusp of a touch like a cufflink gust in the fabric of what my reality is of. Got me stranded and covering up. You're one of us, you should understand it. I'm such of a fuck and I fuck up again. Shut the fuck up, I know, so I close in advance. Nobody home in my heart when I stand over my own when it's only a band. And a band kid who never joined band, but I managed. Claimed the piano and sang with the keys. Rap on the beach, just a piece of my canvas. God damn it.
Now, having been inside this building essentially since birth, for reasons and a backstory they would not even understand, these infants, now turned adults, know only the images and videos selected and projected by their captors onto the screens.
I'm deep in the darkest seas, seated apart my needs.
That transition.
Breathing the ocean I drink, tapping it clean like a sink. Either I float or I sink, neither is known, but I think I'ma blink and I'll wake up. Dream of a scene just green, no blue on my day once. Hop on a fleet, fleeing the home that I breached. Each of their own, so they leave me alone. And I see them each go, they ain't seeing me though. Like a demon, a ghost with a legion of smoke and allegiance to nobody. So what, I'm free and I mean it, I don't need a reason to grow. Trees in my feet and the seed is my own. Reach for the beach like a vacay home, and I see my own. I don't know that I rose, and I pedal my irrelevance. Put the pedal to
Rose
the
pedal.
metal. I ain't never win a medal in wrestling. Done at 18, now that I'm 20, it's half my life. I had imagined I would be a national champion and an Olympic contender. I'm manic or something. I never lived up to my standards for nothing. I'm damaged, goddammit, I can't seem to function above them. Fuck it, I'ma bust it open, then I'll let it go.
That's fire.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, that's fire.
That's super cool. Very slow-mo here.
Yeah. Oh, dude, those beat dropouts that was awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Bro, Nate, I think I want to hear that sooner though. If this is still a work in progress, like, dude, when you put that the energy rode up like of the whole track, the beat started dropping out, and then your lyrical content was like, fuck it, I'm a failure, like fuck it, I should have been there already. Like that shit was that was good. That was Nate Cassatt, Reality. I'm a loss for words. Josh, what do you think? You want to go first this time?
Sure, yeah. That was cool.
There's also bars there. I try to catch him while they're happening. He's like something caught in the booth like John Wilkes or something.
Yeah, there were some good ones in there. I thought overall, like, there was more that really caught the ear in the other track. And there were a few things, like immediately the doubling again was the thing that sort of stuck out to me a little bit here.
Yep.
The main thing might have just been that they both were not EQ'd, like they had too much low mid or whatever.
Yeah.
It was kind of heavy down there. That was kind of the main thing. And then also like the end there, I'm not sure if it's totally finished or not yet, but there were some clicks and pops, which is like basic audio editing stuff that was happening at the end.
In the slow-mo section?
Around there, and then afterwards there's like that bigger dropout, which you can kind of see on the waveform there.
Yep.
There were some very, very audible clicks and pops that you just need to fade out on the actual audio regions. Just pretty easy to do, but yeah, you don't want to have clicks or pops. That can fuck with like speaker systems too if it's being played loud enough. Don't want to have those. But and then also the slow mo section at the end. I know I've heard a lot of I know what you're trying to do. I've heard a lot of good slow mo sections, but something needs to be changed with like the EQing there or something because it just sounds muddy. That's that slow mo part, which is expected when you slow something down. It's going to be lower frequency, but the whole thing was like under a blanket, and it was just like I couldn't really hear what was going on.
You
But
think
other than
rising
that,
the highs and the EQ, maybe give it a little gloss, would have been a little
yeah, EQing,
okay.
taking out some mids, putting in some highs, using an exciter. Maybe
Exciter, that's true.
you could use an exciter. You could use an expander maybe because I don't know. I couldn't really hear the transients very well of like that snare thing, and there was some weird clicking, popping stuff I thought in that part too. But it might just be that it's in progress still, and there's some editing work to be done there.
Yeah. Nate Kisat's in the chat. He says no time for bed, all celebrations. It's fucking late over there. He's at Denmark right now. So I mean, you went to did you just kind of hit all of them, or it seems like you kind of zeroed in on production first? Which I mean, that's your ear, but it was in terms of going by the traffic lights. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the beginning I briefly just mentioned like vibe. Yeah, it's always fucking dope with Nate's stuff. Liked it a lot.
Storytelling,
content. Yeah, content also was very good. I liked the first one a little bit better in terms of content, but still super good. I would say green on the vibes again. Content also like roughly green. Nothing wrong with it. I just like the first one a little bit more. And then production is probably a yellow for those reasons.
Yeah. In terms of vibes, I think it's green as well. And dude, like the vocals sound really good. Like I mean, this is what I do too. I rap over beats and I try to mix them and try to make them sound like they're a part of the song. Like they're not just sitting on top of them. You've done a really good job of that, man. I could tell you improved. Like that's really dope.
Yeah.
Vibes. Like again, I'm getting this is like boom bap era, fucking pro era type shit. Storytelling about your life, which is cool, and then you drop in like some references. These flows are going all over the place. It's really enjoyable to listen to. Let's see. So yeah, so I mean, vibes I think is green. Content. So now it's like a little. I got for the most part, it's really really good. I don't know why you're doing the slow mo section at the end, anyways. You saw me get hyped up at that last part, dude. Like. I wanted to hear more, and then you dropped off. Unless that was like your plan, but if I heard that build up earlier in the song, that would hook me. That would have hooked me for the whole song, and like that was my favorite part. Because dude, the beat dropouts were crazy, and it was going with what you were saying, which is like hard to do, first of all. But then your performance was matching that. Like you were getting more and more like, oh, am I crazy? Am I manic? You know, like I'm a failure, or whatever. I thought I would have been further. Like that was super cool, and I want to hear that in the beginning. I don't know if that's future or past. You're saying that the second half was future, but that sounded more like a past kind of thing. So maybe in terms of arrangement, that's what I would say. Like put that fucking that earworm type shit in the front, so the people that are kind of iffy on the fence for you, that they'll really stick by for the rest of the song when they hear something like that, because that was different. That was cool. It caught both of our ears, and it's at the end of the song, which is a shame,
Yeah,
so if this is like a sorry, what's up?
I was just gonna say, like, I sort of agree, but I'm sort of conflicted with that too. Like, because I could see why he would make it that way. Like, oftentimes the sort of story arc or whatever, the climax is usually three quarters or like towards the end, and then and I sort of think it makes sense in a way, but I just think that the execution of the transition from that to the slow mo part was like there's a little bit of a hesitation almost that makes it less dramatic overall. Like it sort of feels like it stops rather than like it takes you from this high energy level to this surprise low, slow thing or whatever, and takes you out, which might make you want to listen again. But I think it was just like that part was such a short instance of the song, and it was right at the end of the main section or whatever, and then it takes you out into the really quieter, low energy part. So I could also see why, like, at least doing that like cool stuttering effect thing closer to the beginning, like before you go into a higher energy section, would potentially make a lot of sense. But I could also maybe see why you structured it the way you did. So,
and also he gives us some insight in the chat. He says, "I had an intro, but it was deleted, so I just gotta redo it." Bro, what happened? What happened to your stuff? That sucks. I mean, you saw us have technical difficulties, so we're all human. But yeah, man, what happened, dude? That sucks. Don't let that happen again. What you're working on is really cool, man. I really dig it. Homie's wearing Crocs in his picture, by the way. They're camo Crocs, but they look fly even though you can't see them. But
just
yeah,
keeps getting better every time.
Yeah, yeah, you're improving, man. It's awesome. So yeah, for me, if I was talking about content, just in terms of rearranging things, most of the stuff I think is pretty green. Arrangement, this is our feedback. You don't have to take it. It might fit well with your outro, what you plan. So take it or leave it. But yeah, for me, it's like in between green and yellow. We call it chartreuse over here. And production, I think it's also between green and yellow. And I think it's the same kind of issue that I heard before, which, like I said, it's kind of a personal preference. And I think what it might be, I don't know if you're doing this already, but when I like to do doubles for my vocals, what I do is I record like my main vocals in the center. Your main vocal sounds solid, by the way, really good. Up front, I can hear everything. And for the double vocals, I actually do two different takes, and I pan one all the way to the left and pan one all the way to the right, and it kind of gives a space, lets the main vocal breathe, but then gives like a nice spacing to the whole the track. And I think what I'm hearing is the double is also just on top of the main vocal. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's like the first thing that I thought of. So maybe you can look into that, or you can do just one double take and then put like a stereo delay effect. Put the delay a tad bit different on the left than the right delay, and then that'll give an effect that you'll have like the double vocal kind of in both ears at once. That might help give it a little more room. And then again, maybe rolling off the low end a little bit higher than you would the main vocal for the doubles. That way you don't build up on the mud. That might be contributing to what we're hearing. But yeah, everything else was really solid. You have good choice in beats. So I think that's like in between the yellow to green for me. And for my overall track total, I think it's yellow to green as well. I want to hear the outro, bro, and I can't wait till you release this. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm a fan, bro. I'm gonna have to check out the rest of your stuff. I haven't checked your stuff out in a while. So, what do you think, Josh?
Yeah, same for me. And that was a good tip about doubles. It's just like you really have to have a center vocal most of the time, and then ones on the sides, unless you have a whole chorus or something, a whole section that is doubled. And you can do the doubles really close to each other, really similarly to each other. If they're too different and they're panned to two sides, it's going to drag the person's ear from left to right, and it's not going to be what you're trying to do. But if you can do, like, somebody like Kurt Cobain or whatever was known for being really good at singing exactly the same way for every time they would do doubles. And so they could do like one on each side or two on each side without a vocal pan to the center, and it would sound like it's centered, but also like stereo, like wide. So the delay trick is definitely one that you can do to get like a super consistent doubled type thing. That's a good idea. Or just having one vocal in the center and then however many you want on each side.
Ooh,
But
that's
yeah.
a good tip about making sure the performance is exactly the same. I think, like, I'm working on a project right now. I think that's the problem that I have. So I'm gonna go take that tip and put it in.
I hear
Thank you,
that.
Fast Track.
I hear that all the time. Like, people trying to double stuff and wondering why it doesn't sound right. A lot of the time, it's because you need to have the takes be really similar to each other, or else it kind of breaks the illusion.
Got you. And Nate Kisat, with the extra advice, he has a backup hard drive now, so it seems like it was a hard drive failure.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. So
Smart.
for me, that's in between yellow and green. I'm a fan of it, and you have to do with it. You said you were working on mastering it as well, so dude, when that comes out, let us know. He said he's planning it for a couple weeks, so we're excited about that. That's awesome. But that was Nate Kisat, Reality.